All right, lawyers, listen up. The days of hiring overpriced marketing agencies praying they bring in cases are over. With Meta's Andromeda update, the entire game has changed. It is now easier than ever for any law firm, personal injury, business, immigration, employment, family law to run profitable Facebook lead gen ads if you actually understand how the new system works. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the truth about the Andromeda update, how lawyers should run Facebook ads in 2025, the exact equipment you can use to record killer ads, how to shoot them, how to structure them, and how to launch them. And finally, I'll give you access to my private school group only for business owners doing $1 million or more per year, where we'll help you run ads for your firm the lazy way using AI and simple systems. If you run a law firm and you're serious about growing without burning 80-hour weeks, this is going to be the most valuable video you've seen all year. Let's cover the Andromeda update because it's blindsided a lot of agencies and advertisers. Here's what's actually changed. Meta no longer cares about your targeting. They care about your messaging. As you can see here in the diagram, as people are surfing Facebook, Instagram, they are going to request certain types of content. It's then going to go into an AI system where it's going to look through your ads and figure out the best ad for that person at the time and deliver it to them, all utilizing AI based off of the messaging. Previously, agencies and lawyers used to rely on detailed targeting, people with interested in lawsuits, people who like legal pages, people in certain zip codes. That's all dead now. Now Meta uses broad targeting and lets AI decide who sees your ads based on every single word you say on camera. What this means is if your messaging is right, your ads scale. If it's wrong, your ads die instantly. And that's why most firms struggle. There are only two ad types that consistently work for law firms in 2025. The first is going to be UGC style videos you shoot on your phone, simple lead gen campaigns, and you'll notice what's not in here. Overproduced video, agency made commercials, complicated funnels, brand campaigns, those don't convert anymore. Utilizing tools like Foreplay, you can actually go and see what your competitors are running and mimic their styles. As you can see, lawyers need ads that feel human, direct, empathetic, educational, and local. Here's an example script. If you were injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, there are 3 mistakes people make that cost them thousands. Simple, clear, and straight to the point. That's what works now with Meta's new update. And there's a specific structure that you need to run your ads in that'll help give you the most amount of bang for your buck. There's 2 different types of optimizations when it comes to Meta. There's what's called a CBO, which is campaign budget optimization, and then there's ABO, ad set budget optimization. All this means is that this is one living organism where there's one budget set for a bunch of different ads, whereas an ad set budget has a budget for every single ad set, and each one of these will have their own set of ads. The reason why you want to structure it this way is this is where you're going to test your new ads before they go into what we call a CBO campaign that allows you to truly get scale out of your campaigns. In your CBO campaign, Meta is going to look at each one of the ads and determine what purpose they serve for the business and serve that ad to the right person at the right time. So this is going to be a conglomeration of all of your best performing ads in one campaign that you can scale up to get the reach that you're looking for. This is where you're going to test out those ads to see which ones are going to convert in a smaller scale before you move them into your CBO campaign. In order to pull off ads like this, you need specific equipment that's simple and easy to use. This is where most attorneys overthink. Here's the full equipment list that you actually need, and it's under $200. All you need is an iPhone. You need a lavalier mic that you can buy on Amazon, something like this, a wireless lavalier mic that you can go and get on Amazon for $35. You need a light, so you can actually have good lighting in your videos, a tripod, and that's it. You don't need a studio. You don't need a production team, no agencies or huge productions needed. With this new update, typically lawyers make the mistake of trying to look overly polished, but in 2025, authentic beats perfect every time. You don't need to be on every bus, every billboard in order to get the reach of those guys. You just need to run your ads smarter. Now, when you script out your ads and run them, I'll actually give you a prompt that you can utilize that'll help give you a full script that matches this formula. But each ad has 5 parts: a hook, a problem, your authority, the value, and a call to action. In your hook, what Andromeda's update or what Meta is looking for is a direct call out to one specific audience. Now, I know that you may have multiple audiences. This is why you'll create multiple different ads for those audiences, so it hits them at the right time, at the right moment. Here's an example. If you were injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, that's an example of a hook. Here's 2 more. Attention business owners, if someone breached your contract, That's going to be your hook, because within the first 3 seconds, people know exactly what the ad is about and who it's for. The last example is immigration update for anyone waiting on approval. Your hook must identify who the video is for, because Meta's AI listens to these words specifically to figure out who to target to them in the broad targeting campaigns. The second part of your ad is the problem. Explain the mistake that people make that costs them money, time, or legal protection. Here's an example. Most people don't realize they only get one chance to present their claim, and if you miss this deadline, you could lose the entire case. Third part of your ad is going to be your authority. Just simple to one line. I've helped over 300 clients in your exact situation. No bragging, no awards, no fluff. Make it clear that you have experience solving their problems. Then you have the fourth part. This is the value of the ad, where you want to teach them typically 1 to 2 things. Just give it quick, clear information and prove you know what you're doing. The last part of your ad is the call to action. Click the link, answer a few questions, and my team will review your situation today. Sounds simple, but you need a way to get people to take action. That's how lawyers win on Facebook ads now, by following a simple formula, creating ads targeted to one person that solves their problem, demonstrates your authority, gives some value, and then makes a call to action. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up these ads so you can generate leads from Facebook. Here's the campaign setup you should use every single time. Meta loves this, an open objective focused on leads. So you're going to go into your ads manager. You go to adsmanager.facebook.com. The only requirement here is that you have a Facebook page, which likely you do. You're going to come in here and target for leads. Once you're in the leads objective, then you want to give this campaign a name. Typically, this is going to be what you're targeting, where you're targeting, or something like that, so it's easily identifiable. So if I was a personal injury attorney, I would do PI, I would do auto accidents, and I would keep it as simple as that. So personal injury, auto accidents. You don't need to change anything here on campaign details. Again, for our large scaling campaign, we're going to be using a campaign budget, but if I was testing creative, I would use an ad set budget. And then you want to make sure that you uncheck share some of your budget with other ad sets. This is going to tell Meta that you just want this budget to only run for that ad set. So what we're going to do here is a campaign budget. What you want to do here for your daily budget is you can start out small at $1 a day if you want to start super simple just to test it out. But likely what I would do here to actually get some cases in is bid for at least $100 a day. For our ad set campaigns, we're going to be doing typically whatever your allowable acquisition costs are. So if your cases are typically $1 million cases, you probably want to bid more here in your daily budget to get more leads in. If you're doing smaller personal injury cases, you can probably bid $100 to $1,000 a day and then scale it up as it starts to work. What you don't want to do here is set this budget too high, where Meta is now just going to go below that budget. So typically start out with $100 a day is a good place to start. If you're more experienced with this, you can go to $1,000 a day and then scale it from there. The rule of thumb with scaling your budget once your campaign starts and it's starting to perform and generating quality leads is no more than 20% per day is typically you want to do it. And then you want to schedule that increase for typically midnight to 4 a.m. is the best time to make changes, because what it'll actually do is it'll adjust the budget for that upcoming day, and Meta won't blow through the rest of that budget. So let's say you did this at noon, you set a new budget. Meta's going to say, oh, I have an extra $100 to spend, and it's going to find a place to spend it, which may not be the best spot for you. So we're going to start a campaign at $100 a day. We don't need to change any other settings here. We're going to leave this exactly as is. We don't need A/B testing. And in legal, there's no special categories that we have to put our ads in. So we're just going to leave this broad here. Then when we get down to our ad set, this is where we're actually going to be doing the targeting. So this is where you want to make sure that you don't fight the algorithm and make sure that you only do broad targeting here. Here's how we're going to set it up. Our ad set is typically going to be what we're calling this here. So if this is our CBO campaign and we're scaling it, I would call this scaling. I would put the location I'm targeting. So I live in Arizona, so I would do Arizona. If I was targeting a specific county, I would do scaling. I live in Maricopa County, and I would target it that way. For conversions, I only want to be using, unless you have a landing page designed to capture leads, I would only do this on single, and I would select instant forms here. Then you're going to select the Facebook page you want these ads to run from. So that's going to be your personal Facebook page that you have set up for your business. And then your performance goal here is going to be maximize number of leads. When you do maximize conversion of leads, this is going to be showing it to people who are most likely to convert after sharing their contact info. This is going to make it a little bit harder here. In the beginning, we just want to maximize the number of leads that we have coming in the door. We don't want a specific cost per result goal. We don't want to add any value rules in yet. These are more advanced options. We want to make sure dynamic creative's turned off. We want to typically start our campaigns at midnight. So if I was launching a brand new campaign, I would just go in here and change this to 12, and then I would change this to AM, PST, and then I would make sure that it's set for the next day. So it'll be these ads, if I launch them now, would go live at midnight the next day. Don't set an end date. You don't need any budget scheduling here. And then for audiences, we're not going to change any of the audience options other than the location and then our minimum age. So if you want to target 18-year-olds, you can definitely do that depending on what your typical cases are. But typically 25 plus is recommended because that's going to be your ideal demographic. And then here in the location, instead of targeting all of US, we're just going to target Maricopa County in this one. So I'm going to tell Meta I want Maricopa County. And now it's going to adjust my targeting to only target Maricopa County and for people that are 25 years or more older. I don't need to change any other settings. I don't need to put interest targeting. And then if you need specific languages, you can go in here and you can select, I only want English, all. I typically put all these in just because people have different settings set up on Meta. So I just target all English, 25 plus, and then the location that I'm targeting. We don't have any custom audiences that we need to load in. Once you have your Facebook page set up, you can go in and verify it. That's going to give you a little green check next to your page just to show that you're verified. And then in terms of placements, I'm going to leave all placements open, all devices. So you can see there's 19 different placements. I'm just going to leave that into all placements. If there's specific things that you want to block, like you don't want to show up on certain pages, things like that, you can definitely put those in. But you have to create a publisher block list to block your ads from specific places. And then from there, that's all that I'm going to do targeting wise. Then I'm going to go in and load in my ads. So my ads name is typically what I'm targeting the ad. And then if I have a specific angle, so if it's personal injury, let's call this auto accident just to keep the theme. And then my angle for the ad is going to be freeway. So let's say an angle that I used was you got in an accident on the freeway. Here are the 3 things that you need to do to maximize your chance at having a successful case. That would be the angle of the ad. That way you can identify, hey, this was for my personal injury, auto accidents campaign, and it was the angle about freeways. If you have one for dog bites, you can put dog bites here. If you want to do an angle on slip and fall, you can do that here too as well. For identity, this is where your Facebook page and Instagram page will be. We're typically going to do single image or video. Destinations, we're going to keep it open, and then it'll actually walk you through setting up your lead form. I'm going to pause this here, and I'm going to actually just set up a Facebook page with this account, and that way I can show you how to set up your forms. All right, back here. So now I'm going to walk you through creating your form. So we're going to create our form. We're just going to call this PI. And then on the settings here, you'll see there's 2 different form types you can have. You can have more volume or higher intent. Higher intent has them verify their phone number if you want verified phone numbers. This is a good way to make sure that you get qualified phone numbers through, because sometimes people will just put in bad phone numbers. Typically what I do is I go for more volume here. If I notice that I'm getting low quality leads or a bunch of bad phone numbers, then I'll come in here and change this. In the beginning, we just want as many leads as possible. So I'm going to leave this at more volume. We're going to go here and hit next. In the intro, I can use the image from the ad, or I can upload an image. And then in the greeting, I can go to ChatGPT and actually have it create me a headline for my lead form. I'll give you this prompt here in the description of the video. You'll put in a headline and a description for personal injury. So for this example here, I'm just going to say personal injury or something. It's going to be more direct response marketing style. So it's going to be, did you recently have an accident? And then here I put some details. Freeway, accidents, fender bender, things like that. Again, you can just go to ChatGPT. I'll give you the prompt that you can utilize that'll actually help you write all this copy so you don't have to do it manually. And then in terms of questions, what are the common questions that you want to put here? We want basic contact info, so email. You can make this optional, or you can get work email if you want. We want first name. So typically I start with like the easiest questions, first name. If you need last name, you can definitely put that in here. So that would be a meta field for user information. I put first name, last name. And just be aware, the more questions you have in here, the lower chance you have of people filling out the entire form. first name, last name, email, phone number. If it's connected to their Facebook account that has this info in there, it'll typically pre-fill it from their Facebook account. So that's why you always want to use these categories here. The only other question I would ask outside of contact information is going to be a custom question that we're going to add here. We'll hit add question. And I'm going to make this a short answer. You could also make it a multiple choice if you have standard things. But my short answer question is going to be, give me some details about your accident. I'm going to add that question in there. So that's going to be one of my short answer questions. And you'll notice that that will pop up first before the contact info. So give me some details about your accident. Very easy question for people to answer. And then I would just keep it at this. I wouldn't go much more here. Then you can you definitely want to link to your privacy policy on your website. If you have any additional disclaimers like marketing opt-ins, you definitely want to make sure that those disclaimers are here. Things like, hey, we are going to text you and call you if you're going to use an auto dialer, things like that. So you're TCPA compliant. Again, if you don't have a terms and conditions, you can go to ChatGPT, say, write me a terms and conditions. I'm a personal injury attorney or a business attorney or whatever type of law you specialize in. Throw it in ChatGPT and then get a terms and condition link. You can actually add that those terms and condition language here, or you can link to your privacy policy on your website. So I'm going to remove the disclaimer for now, but you want to have a disclaimer in there so you're compliant. And then your ending. Your ending is super important because in the headline, you don't want people to think that they're finished. You want them to take the next action. So what I would do here is I would say, you're almost done. Next steps below, because this lets people know that they have an additional step that they need to take. Again, you can have ChatGPT finish out the questions here, but basically it's going to center around two things. You can have them actually call a phone number, so you want to have a dedicated line that you can answer. If you don't have someone answering 24/7, I definitely would look into getting a virtual assistant that can take your off hours. But typically this will go to your receptionist, or if you have someone that handles your inbound leads, you have their phone number here. Or you can have them go to a website if you want them to go directly to your website and fill out a time. The best option that you can do here is utilizing a tool like Go High Level, which I'll link that in the comments down below. Go High Level is just a CRM that'll give you a phone number, and it's also going to give you a scheduling link and a CRM that you can manage. If you're already utilizing a CRM, that's okay. I would still use something like Go High Level on top of whatever CRM you're using, unless it gives you these options. But where I would put for go to website is actually the link for them to schedule their call. So in my description, if it's for scheduling a call, I would say schedule a time to review your case and gather more information about your recent accident. Click the link below. So having something like this in there will tell people, hey, you're almost done. Next steps below. Schedule a time to review your case and gather more information about your recent accident. Click the link below. This is where I would put my scheduling link that'll pop up for them. They can actually just book a time on your calendar. So something like Calendly, if you have any scheduling tools like that, have them actually schedule a call. It's going to convert a lot better than just having people call the business in most cases, unless you have an answering service or someone that's going to be staffed. Having them schedule a call gives them an action to do. It puts it on their calendar, puts it on your calendar, and make sure that you're available. So I would put this link here. And then for my call to action, instead of saying visit website, I would say schedule your case review today. And then you can also put some urgency language in here too as well. The sooner we gather details, the higher chance you have of a successful case, so you don't miss the window of opportunity. So here's an example of some language that I would put in here. So that way they know, and then you can actually structure this so it's a little bit more readable. Just for this video here, I'm not doing all the typical things that I would do, but that way I can space it out and it's a little bit more readable. So you can see there, it's much, much easier. The preview is always here on the right-hand side. You can see it on Instagram, you can see it on Facebook. You'll put your link here, schedule a case review, and then I'm just going to go ahead and create this form. So I'll just send this to Google for now, because this is an example form. I need to have privacy policy in here. I'm just going to google.com. And then now I can hit and create my form. So now that I have my form created, I can use this form over and over and over again. You'll see it'll be linked here in the active. I will require SMS verification when people submit the form. So if they put a phone number, it'll send them a code, verifies their phone number. That way you don't get junky leads. You can turn this off too, again, if you don't want any quality filters. And then you can decide how you want your leads set, delivered to you. You can have them just sent into a Google Sheet if you are using Google, or you can have them sent to your CRM if it's one that's integrating with Meta here. So you'll go through the whole CRM setup process. You can see they have Zapier, which will connect pretty much to anything, any of your Google, any of your other options. So if you want to send it to Excel, send it to your email. If you're using HubSpot, if you're using Go High Level, it's labeled as Lead Connector, or any other CRMs in here. You can go through this list and connect your CRM, and Meta will actually deliver that direct to your CRM. In this case, I don't have a CRM set up. So the next thing that I would do is actually set up my creative. So typically your ads are going to be video ads. You would upload your video ad here. So I'm just going to select a video from another company. It's going to upload my video here. I can go and hit next. For my text, this is where I put my copy in. So the headline is going to be what shows. So there'll be the ad video. There'll be a headline right below it, and then there's a description below that, and then a link. So the link here would be, I would just typically leave this as like learn more, or you can do sign up, or anything like that, or get in touch. Typically works well as well. And then again, I'll give you a ChatGPT prompt that you can use to write the copy here for the headline, for the description. But for now, I'm just going to put in test, just so I have this filled out. And super important here, Meta's going to try and give you all of these enhancements on your ads. You want to make sure that you don't select any of these enhancements. So any AI enhancements, text improvements, I want to make sure that they're all turned off. When this video is done uploading, I'll show you where you can double check this, because this is going to change how your ads perform. Again, as you're doing this, you'll always see a preview of your ad as it loads in here. You can always edit the copy here. I'm not going to do any creative testing. I don't need any URL parameters or things like that. So I'm just going to let this run. Once it gets that video fully uploaded, I'll pop back in here. All right, now that my ad is uploaded, I just want to double check here that I don't have any enhancements. It says they turned on 2 enhancements. So I want to go and actually find those and make sure that they're complete. All the enhancements are turned off. So as I go back in here to edit the media, I can hit edit video. I want to just double check, make sure that there's no additional enhancements on the video. I want to uncheck multi-advertiser ads. So this is going to show your ads with other lawyers. I don't want to do that. If you don't have an Instagram account connected, you want to use Facebook page. So we'll just use a Facebook page that's connected here. And then, all right, so now we're back. I have all of my enhancements turned off, and now I can go in and publish my ad. So the next part that I want to cover is, I'm not going to actually launch this here because it's not for a real campaign. Next part I want to cover here is how do you review the performance of your campaigns once they're launched. So you'll notice that Meta has targeting that's set up here. So you can actually see the performance of your ads. Here's what I want you to do when you first launch an ad. The very beginning, don't touch the campaign. Don't change the budgets. Don't adjust any settings. Don't panic. Don't try to get Meta to do what's called get out of the learning phase. So you'll see a recommendation here. It'll come up and it'll say that it's in the learning phase. You want to let this ad run until it's generated some leads for at least 3 days, but ideally around 7 days before you make any changes to the ads. The things that you want to review are going to be your cost per result, which is going to be cost per lead, how many leads you've generated, what the quality of those leads have been, and then the performance of the actual ad. So you'll want to look at how the video is performing. You can actually come in here and you can go to customize columns. And I want to create a couple of things specifically around the video performance, because I want to see how the ad is performing. If I see that it's getting a good cost per lead, the volume is good, the quality of leads is good, I'm just trying to judge how the creative is performing. And I may have to create some customized events here. So I'm looking through all the settings and I don't see what I want specifically about the videos. Through plays is one, cost per through play, cost per 3-second video, total plays. I'm going to add those in, and then I'm going to show you how to create a couple of custom ones. So here I'm going to do get started, and I'm going to actually create a custom metric. So I want video plays. So I want video plays divided by video plays of 3 seconds. So the reason why I want 3 seconds is I want to see of the people that started the video, how many did watch 3 seconds. That's going to tell me how well the hook of the video performed. So I'm just going to name this hook rate. I'm going to change this from numeric to a percentage. And then I don't need any descriptions. You're going to be the only ones running ads, but you can change this to everyone that has access to your ad account and then create a metric. Then I'm going to add this hook rate to it. And now what I can do, if I scroll all the way over here to the right, is I'm going to see a couple of new stats. You'll see your typical things here, like your cost per click. That'll tell you how the ad is performing as well. But primarily for the video, I want to see how much is it costing me to get people to watch through the entire video. So through play is through the entire video. How many people watched all the way through? How many people played the video? What was the cost to get someone to watch 3 seconds of the video? And then what's the hook rate? The hook rate is going to be from people who started the video to actually watching the first 3 seconds. How well did this video hook people? If you see a low hook rate, meaning anything below 80%, your ad didn't do a good job at getting people to stop. If you see a low amount of through plays and your cost per through play is super high, then your cost per lead is probably going to be high too as well, because you're not going to be getting people to watch the ad, which is all that you really want from the ad, is getting people to watch the ad and then ultimately filling out the form. The other metrics that you're going to review here are going to be your cost per click. So you'll see CPM. If your CPM is really high, which typically for these types of ads are going to be pretty high. If it's sky high, like $1,000 or $200-$300, then typically that ad is probably not hitting the right market. You typically want to see about $100 or less. Link clicks is going to show you how many people have clicked the link. Then you're going to see your cost per link click. So this is going to tell you the cost to just get someone to click on your ad. If this is abnormally high, then your cost per lead is going to be super high, which means we need to work on the ad. Your click-through rate is going to be percentage of people that click, how many actually click the link. You'll see all of your CPC. You'll see landing page. You won't see landing page views, but you'll see the total click-through rate, which is going to be how many people that the ad was shown to actually stopped and clicked on it, even if that's clicking the see more button, and then the cost for every click that happens on the ad. That's how you're going to review the performance. And then all you're going to do is, as you find winners here that are getting you the best cost per lead, you're going to scale up those winners on the campaign side. So you'll go to campaign budget. You'll see your budget is listed here. And then again, I want to do no more than 20% per day. So that's $120 if I want to increase the budget. But then I would just wait until around midnight to change that budget, or at the end of the day. Okay, so to recap here, if you're a lawyer or a business owner doing at least $1 million per year and you want a simpler, smarter way to grow your business, I built out a free school community called Lazy Millionaire. Yeah, it's called Lazy Millionaire because if you're a business owner, you should find more ways to be lazy, because you want simple systems that scale without taking more time. As a lawyer, you're probably already working more than the normal person would. As a business owner, you didn't start this because you wanted to work more. You started this because you wanted to get some level of leverage inside of your business to give you the money and the time freedom that you want from your business. So this community that I'm building, I want to invite you to join it. It's completely free, and it's going to be full of entrepreneurs, other lawyers, business owners, all doing $1 million a year that want to scale. It's going to be without burning yourselves out. It's going to be without relying on agencies that don't understand how modern advertising works or charge you exorbitant fees to run your ads. Inside the community, you're going to get advanced training. I'll show you all the AI tools, the scripts, the frameworks for your ads. I'll be doing live Q&As. There'll be case studies and actual systems that you can plug into your firm. If you want to grow your law firm the lazy way, working smarter instead of harder, the link to join is going to be in the description, and I'll see you in the inside. Also, make sure you subscribe if you want more strategies like this. And if you want hands-on help installing AI-powered lead system inside your firm, shoot me a message and we'll talk.